Hello, welcome back. Today I want to tell you about something that is very important that I think you have to know if you're navigating narcissistic relationships. There's something called reactive abuse, and we need to know about this because this is another of their lovely traps that they set for us throughout on the way to freedom, let's say, from narcissists. It's very important to know about this because it's a trick they play on their victims. Narcissists do this a lot. Reactive abuse is nothing more than the victim reacting to the abuse they are receiving. So if you see it from an objective lens, it's completely understandable. I mean, see it from any lens, it's completely understandable to react to the abuse. If somebody tries to hurt me, I will try to react, right? And it's normal. It's like a normal human reaction. So what narcissistic people do is they take this reaction and show it as proof to you that you are being the one that is being abusive. These reactions include yelling, screaming, defending themselves violently. And I'm not excusing these behaviors, but I can certainly understand how a narcissist can push certain buttons and make people react, okay? Especially if they've been dealing with this for years and years, or they are sons and daughters of narcissists. They can do this. Plus, if we add to this the fact that CPTSD, which is a consequence of being in long-term relationships with narcissists, one of the symptoms of CPTSD is reactivity. We tend to be more reactive, and one of the symptoms is just, for example, reacting in a normal situation with a person that is innocent. For example, being in a normal situation and being in contact with someone that is not you don't know this person, it's not a person that you know, and then this person does something that throws you into a flashback and makes you remember certain situations that you lived with the abusive person, and so you react as if the other person was the abuser. And this is a typical classical symptom of CPTSD, where you lash out at somebody that has nothing to do with that, and then later on you realize what you did and you feel very guilty and you don't recognize yourself. And that's one symptom of CPTSD, because that was a trigger for you that made you react, okay? That made you remember of the things that the narcissist did, so that makes you in a split second react as if you have the narcissist in front of you, and that's a person that's doing the exact same thing that the narcissist did, okay? That's CPTSD. So this is the same thing. This is one of the symptoms of CPTSD. So of course you're going to react like that with the narcissist many times. This is why I always say don't bite the bait, because it's very important to not fall into these traps where you end up, it's inevitable that you will end up looking as the abuser. So, and they use this against you to make you feel as if you are the abuser, okay? So that's in private. When you're with the narcissist, they will say abusive things to you or do abusive things, and then you will react. So this is why we say don't react, respond. You have to do a lot of mental gymnastics to not react and to realize that this is a trap, okay? So you have to, in advance, see what's going on and say, okay, I have to get out of this. This is why we advise, don't be in touch with people like this. They take the worst of you and make it come out, and then you end up being not you. So this is why we advise, get out of there. We professionals advise, get out of there, of a situation like that. So now I'm going to explain this in a public setting. In public, they combine this with a term that comes from politics, and it's called dog whistling. Dog whistles are only heard by dogs. We use this term to explain how narcissists in social situations will say things, do things, certain gestures or things that what they're doing, but the rest of the humans in that place don't. So they're dog whistling you, and then you're going to react. And then that's exactly what they want. They want you to overreact, reactive abuse, and maybe yell at them, get angry, start saying loads and loads of truth to them, which you are right, exactly right. From, you know, if you want to say that and be angry, and this is righteous anger because you've went through a lot of abuse, and then you're seeing what they're doing, dog whistling. You're the only one that's noticing this, certain things that they do in public, and then you overreact. That's what the rest of the people in the meeting or in the social situation will see, that you're overreacting. But so far, only you and the narcissist and me know that you are right to react like that. I mean, it's completely understandable, okay? But the rest of the people don't. And this happens also in court, okay? For example, if you have a trial with a narcissist, or, you know, something that you have to be very composed and, you know, we show the people that you are not the one that's being abusive, you know. I'm sorry to say that many times abusers end up looking like they are victims, and the rest of the people believe them. Everybody believes them. Why? Because there's a pathological aspect of them, this sort of psychopathy, where they are detached from everything and they believe they are saints. They believe it's so angering for victims to see this, and it completely, you know, it can drive you crazy. So this is why I'm here to tell you, know about this, because they will dog whistle you during a trial, during a conversation, if you are with friends, with family, and you will react. You will want to react and you will end up making a scene, and people will start believing that you are the crazy person, the crazy, usually with women, they do this a lot, the crazy woman, the one that shouts and screams and she's so unstable, and, you know, here she is, look at her. Okay. So that's dog whistling, and you're the only one that listens to the whistle, you know, the gesture. So now I'm going to tell you about a few examples from my clients that I see this repeats a lot. With jealousy, they do this a lot. To other people, they are just talking to people, being friendly, and, you know, that to you, because you're primed, because you're trained, because you are groomed by them to make you feel jealous. And if you add to this, you have sort of a wound. Maybe in the past you had tendencies to be jealous a little bit, but then after this relationship, you are way down the line, like you are a very jealous person. And so they use that to get all the narcissistic supply from you, and so that you start making scenes and things. Okay, they can control you like that. Another example is when they try to make you feel as if you are not, they assume you are not capable, for example, of things that you are not capable. Any continuous argument you have with them, they will put it outside in public. For example, they underestimate you, and then you'll end up believing that everybody thinks that, and then you react. Or, like I said, in court, they will play the victim and say certain things, or do passive-aggressive stuff, like, for example, not doing things correctly, but nobody notices that, but then you do, because this is the big thing in your relationship, for example, and that has caused a lot of problems with you, and then they do this on purpose. And, you know, their dog whistling is very subtle, but the victim only gets it, okay? So it can be with anything that you can think of. And so it's very important to know this, because you can, okay, hit the brake and say, okay, I'm not going to engage in all this. This is done on purpose. So now you have to, this is why, go to my Instagram and look for mindfulness exercises, do yoga, you know, do things that, or martial arts, those are good too, for concentration, being in the present moment, understanding the dynamics, how these people gaslight you, with dog whistling, for example, or with your reactive abuse, and understand these are things they use to make you look a certain way in front of others, okay? And they're always twisting and turning things reality so that they can look as victims and you can look as the narcissist, okay? So this video, I hope it helps you to clarify this and understand that these are dynamics that they on purpose use and put into practice so that you can look as if you're abusive, when in reality you're only reacting to something they're doing to you. But I want to say one more thing. So reacting is not an excuse for us. I understand you're angry. I understand your frustration. I completely get it. And I know you're right to think that you know, in the moment it feels like somebody has to say this. Look at this, look what. But the reality is that people, the majority of people, this is why I make these videos, don't know about this. They wouldn't dream of somebody doing this on purpose, okay? And unless they've been through something like that, or they know there's people like that, people don't get it. And you end up looking as abusive, crazy, unstable, reactive. So think about that before you react, okay? This is why it's good to have some distance, no contact, soul distancing, whatever you want, you know. Reduce contact with these people because they bring the worst out of you. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say today. I hope this is helpful. Do yoga, do mindfulness, take care of yourself, write everything how you feel, express yourself with others. Try to elaborate this, integrate all the trauma, meaning what you went through, and understand that this is a reaction of a normal person to react like that. But the thing is, we cannot do this because we are giving them what they want, okay? All the supply, you lowering yourself to reacting like that, and that's not who you are, okay? So remember who you are. I'm always saying this because you're not that. Because narcissists take a normal person and convert it into something else that they're not. Very traumatized and very like, they lose touch with themselves, with their center, with who they are. So we need to revert this and to go back to who you are, okay? I hope this is helpful. I hope I'm not being too direct because I tend to be like that. But my hope is that you understand this and don't engage in these behaviors where they're making you fall into a trap. And I want you to be prevented and know that you have to avoid this. You can do this. You can avoid this, and you won't give them the benefit of feeling, here's proof. This is an unstable person. This is the one I was telling you about. You see, he's the one that's unstable, not me. Okay, don't give them that. All right, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking my videos. I really appreciate this, and for sharing. Thank you so much. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye. Take care.